In today's episode of Homestead How, I just hit day 71 on the carnivore diet and I am fired up. Pulling it out more and more. So losing the inches and muscles. I feel like I'm building muscle way quicker than I ever have my whole life. And I've never felt better or been happier my entire life. I want for nothing anymore. Now I listen to the good Dr. Barry, Dr. Chafee. Everything else I'm completely skeptical on. Especially when a doctor tells you, well, I don't know why Lily has HS. It's just some unexplainable thing. That is BS when a doctor tells you, this is an unexplainable thing. Let's just throw a pill at it and see what happens. Run for the hills. And then I was in my office. Jen ran into the bathroom. I heard her, just a blood-curdling scream from Jen, and I ran in there. Lily was on the ground. This was after she was taking that medication. She was on the ground. Her face was just white like a ghost. And the thing that I will never forget the most was her lips. Her lips were purple, and I thought she was dead. Carrie here from Homestead How, and I just hit day 71 of being a carnivore, and I am feeling amazing. My daughter Emma, who is a vegan for 5 years, she's on day 21. We cooked up some steaks yesterday, some New York strip steaks. I'll show you a little clip of that. Her progress has been astounding to me. So she had very bad acne on her face, and I'll show you this little clip. This picture was taken yesterday. We cooked up some New York strips in some beef tallow. It was amazing, and I showed her the picture afterwards. I posted this to my Facebook community tab and to our members who've joined. If you're interested in becoming a member, click the little join link below to learn more. I posted that to the members so they could see it, and Emma said, did you Photoshop my picture? I was like, no, and I showed her right off of my phone. I took it right off the phone. It was one shot. Her face looks so much clearer. Someone left a comment and they said her face looks like it's porcelain now. She still does have some acne, but she's only on day 21, and every day you can see it going away more and more. My results on day 71, I'm continuing to drop the weight. There's been no stalls for me. You could put it on a graph and it's just steady weight loss. And I showed this before, but my belt right here, this was my belt before, right here. I showed it, I don't know, 2 weeks ago maybe, and it was right here, and now it's right here. I keep pulling it out more and more. So losing the inches and muscles. I feel like I'm building muscle way quicker than I ever have my whole life. And I have been lifting weights here or there. I have some weights in my office, and when I go to edit or ever sit down at my desk, I try to pump the weights for a couple times. Besides that, I just feel amazing. The mood has been great. Absolutely zero anxiety, zero depression. I listed all the other things that are proven on carnivore, but if you're new here, I'll list them real quick. After 18 months of horrible pain in this toe due to arthritis, it wasn't gout, it was arthritis, took all sorts of different pills. I saw 3 different foot specialists. I couldn't walk last year on this foot without being in horrible pain. So I didn't golf, I hardly did any projects around the house. I just sat around because it felt like I was stepping on a fractured bone. It's 95% better. I have just a little tinge of pain every now and then, but I'm walking, I'm golfing, I'm doing project after project. I've gotten so much progress done in the last 71 days being on carnivore. My sleep has been amazing. I feel rejuvenated, regenerated. I feel motivated, energized. I wake up in the morning, I'm practically jumping out of bed. I'm getting less sleep, but it's that deep, important sleep that most people aren't getting. And I believe sleep is one of the most important things you can do. And I believe you watching this right now are not getting the proper sleep that you deserve to be getting. And you probably think you are. You're probably saying, oh, I get 8 hours of sleep, I'm fine. You can get 12 hours of sleep. The number of hours of sleep does not matter. It's how deep you get into sleep. And on Carnivore Diet, I've been getting the deepest sleep of my entire life, where my whole body is relaxed and rejuvenated, the cells rebuild, get rid of all that waste cells or whatever. I don't know what's going on, but I wake up and I feel like $1,000,000. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I said in my first video, if you gave me a lottery ticket for $1 billion, I'd rip it up if that meant I would never know about carnivore. Day 71, it holds true more than it did before. More than it did before. And there's so many people leaving me comments, oh, BS, you would take that money in a second. No, absolutely not. I would not. Before this, I was fat. I was completely inflamed. I was in horrible pain all the time. I could barely walk on my foot. I had brain fog. Okay, I was fatigued. I couldn't do anything. I would lift a piece of wood up to put it into our wood stove and I would lose my breath. I was depressed. I was anxious about everything all of the time. All of those things are gone. All the money in the world isn't worth it if you're living a miserable, horrible life. People put way too much value on money. If you look at almost everyone that's ever won the lottery, they end up on drugs and they end up dead. It's horrible truth, but it's true. They call it the curse of the lottery. People put way too much value on money. I've been learning since I've been on the carnivore diet. I remember this book I read in elementary school, Siddhartha, and it was about a kid that was seeking enlightenment. And I feel like I'm closer to finding enlightenment now than I ever have before. I know it sounds crazy, like I'm some guru or something, but I've never felt better or been happier my entire life. I want for nothing anymore. This weekend at our movie theater, if you're new to our channel, my family, my wife, and my 4 girls, we have triplets plus 1. We took over our small town movie theater. It's been almost 9 months now, and it's been a dream come true. It's my mission in life is to keep that theater open and keep the history alive. Our building goes back to 1859 before Lincoln was president. And I'm not making a penny on this thing. We've been doing really well, but Jen and I are not taking a penny out of the building. We're putting it all back. Our goal is to keep tickets at $5, which is half the national average. You can get a small popcorn for $2. I love it when the families are coming in and the building is doing what it does best. It's been doing this since before Lincoln was president. It's a gathering place for people. People are laughing and having fun and enjoying it. And there's just something so magical about our building, and I want to keep it that way for a long time. That's been my mission in life, and this weekend was a blast. My 18-year-old daughter, Lily, graduated. We had a whole bunch of family over. I ate some amazing carnivore food that we smoked on the grill. That I was scared to use the smoker since I went on carnivore, because usually you got barbecue sauce and sugar and rubs. I had some amazing ribs this weekend, and it was just duck fat, ribs, and salt, Redmond salt, and it was absolutely delicious. I'm going to do a whole video on it because Emma wants more, I want more, and news update. Some of the other family members of mine are going carnivore, so we'll talk more about that. I don't want to put too much pressure on them, but they've seen our examples and they want to go carnivore. But back to the movie theater, we had family over, and I'm like pinching myself. I was sitting. We had a huge rush at the movie theater. We played Guardians of the Galaxy 3 this weekend. Every day it was busy, and on Sunday it was very busy. We had the rush, and then Alyssa manned the concession counter when the movie started, and Jen and myself and a bunch of our family went out and I watched the movie with the crowd, and I'm looking around and all of the seats are full. Not every seat, but it was packed. There were barely any seats left at Montello Theater, and I just had a big smile on my face. I was just so happy seeing the building do what it does best, and just my mood was better and everything was better. So things have been going amazingly well, and every day on carnivore they've been getting better and better for me. And the other thing that's happened since we last did our Tuesday update talk like this, I met my new best friend, Sean, from Intentional Carnivore, and I'll show you a little clip of Sean. And I said this to Sean. I said, Sean, if your story was a movie, people would be like, this is BS. This is so unrealistic, and they would walk out of the theater because his story is absolutely unbelievable. This man has lost hundreds of pounds, starting with a 2, on carnivore diet in about a year. He is completely transformed. He's a completely different person. He saved his life. But all of that aside, he doesn't even really care about the weight loss. It's the mental game that's changed for him that is more important, and the reason he's trying to help other people. And I share his passion. I want to help as many people as I can. So my 3 missions in life are: my family is, of course, number 1, Montello Theater, and preserving that history for generations to come at family fair prices, not trying to gouge people like other movie theaters are. And then the third one is I want to help as many people as I can that are desperate, that are hopeless, that are helpless, like Sean was and like I was, and whether that's depression or it's just obesity or diabetes, or you're walking around in a brain fog, fatigue, and your life is just a fraction of what it could be. I'm going to do everything I can to help as many people as I can. Sean shares that same goal, and he is one amazing individual. I sat down with him last week. We did a little interview on Homestead How, and that's going live on Thursday. And if you don't want to watch any other video your entire life, watch the video I did with Sean. Not because I want a bunch of viewers to my channel, but I want people to hear this man's story, and I want them to go to his channel, intentionalcarnivore.com, and learn more about him. But The interview we had was one of the best conversations I've ever had. It was so enlightening. It was so inspiring. It was so unbelievable, but it's all true. I'll show you a little thumbnail of Sean's before and after transformation. It's still absolutely unbelievable. And we had one heck of a emotional, interesting, inspiring conversation. Thursday at 4 p.m. Central, that video is going live on my channel, and I will be there. It's going to be a premiere, which means you can chat with me live and watch it with me live, and you don't want to miss that one. So I'm happy, I'm excited, but I do have a little rant to share with you, something that I'm quite upset about, and it's our healthcare system and how broken it is. And I've been having these carnivore epiphanies lately, realizations, and some of them are shocking and some of them are disturbing. And that's why I have this here. These are my pills, just mine. Every one of these is prescribed to me. And these are over the last 10 years or so. And I pulled some of these out and I'm just amazed. I'm just absolutely amazed. Almost every one of these pills was not necessary for me. There's pills in here for, multiple of these pills are for depression, SSRIs. I don't need those anymore. Anxiety pills, we got Xanax in here. I don't need those anymore. And the thing was, when I was using those, they never even helped. That's the big difference that's really making me so angry. I would take pills for depression and the doctor would say, it's going to take you 3 months before we know if this works or not. 3 months would go, I would feel like a zombie. I wouldn't feel any better. Well, we got to up the dosage. They'd up the dosage and it's going to take 3 more months now. I'd wait 3 more months. Just in the darkest of dark that you can't imagine, depression, horrible depression. Oh, you got to wait 3 more months. And then after that, like we're 9 months into this, oh, we'll have to try another pill now. It's just, that's what a lot of these pills are. They didn't even work. And then the anxiety medicine, people have taken Xanax, heard of Xanax? Sure, it makes you relax. It also makes you forget a whole bunch of things. And there's also a lot of other unintended consequences that happen from taking those things that people don't realize. There's pill after pill in here that I never needed. So here's one, omazepam. See that? I've taken these. What's it for? It's for heartburn. A lot of you out there, I've heard, you've got the heartburn too. I have 0 heartburn in 71 days on Carnivore Diet. I would take these, I'd get a little temporary Band-Aid relief. Okay, I think the heartburn's a little bit better, but then it would come back again and it would come back again. Well, how come it's not coming back anymore? Because I'm on the proper human diet, eating what my body needs. I don't need these pills. I've had 0 heartburn in 71 days. I've taken medication in here too for IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. I've tried the low FODMAP diet. I've tried changing my diet. I've tried everything. I've been to doctor after doctor, stomach bloated, gurgling, bubbling, farting 500 times a day. I've said it in my other video. I fart once a day now if I'm lucky. I have no stomach problems, no gurgling, no bubbling. I feel light. I feel normal. I didn't know what it was like to feel normal before, despite getting pills and going to doctor after doctor after doctor. None of them fixed my IBS. Sometimes you get a temporary Band-Aid, like, oh, I think I feel a little bit better now, and then the next day it's hurting again. Well, I'm on Carnivore Diet. Why isn't it coming back and hurting again? These pills did nothing for me. Then I have pill after pill. So here's trazodone. This was for sleep. I couldn't fall asleep. I had depression and I had insomnia. I had periods of time where I got no sleep. I'd be up all night long. So I took trazodone. I took this for years. This would help me sleep at night. But what would it do? It would pass me out, and it was like I was saying to you earlier, oh, I got 8 hours of sleep last night. I'd wake up with huge bags under my eyes. Still got a little bit here, but it's almost completely gone. That's been one of my other transformations. I had these huge, deep, dark bags under my eyes for years. I wasn't sleeping. I was on a CPAP machine, and I wasn't getting that deep, regenerative sleep. This was a temporary Band-Aid. It didn't help me. I still had the bags under my eyes. I still had brain fog. I was still memory loss. I was struggling. I was like a stroke victim trying to find my words. I couldn't find my words. Now I can sit down in front of this camera. I could talk to you for a half an hour and I have no problem finding my words. Waste of time. Trazodone. I've got other pills in here for, here's the alprazolam. Let's see. Alpurinol. This was for my foot. You know how much of this alpurinol I took? They started me off at 100 megagrams. They said, you got gout in your foot. Well, they were completely wrong because it wasn't gout in retrospect. Took it for months. Well, you got to give it some time. Then they upped the dosage. They upped it to 200 and then they upped it to 300. This one is 300 of alpurinol. And do you know what this did for me? Nothing. I took this medication for almost a year on my doctor's advice, upping the dosage time after time after time, and it did nothing. And then the last specialist I went to said to me, you don't even have gout. You have arthritis in your toe, and it's horrible arthritis. It's like pressure building up. We're going to have to do surgery on your toe. And I almost did that surgery, and thank goodness I didn't, because it's gone now. And the only thing that fixed it, carnivore diet. Sorry if I'm getting a little fired up here, but look at this. This is just pill after pill after pill for all these issues and ailments that I'd go to the doctor for. Statin. Got to go on a statin. Every one of your doctors is going to tell you got to go on a statin. Completely not needed. Another statin. And I wonder how much damage that did to me and unintended consequences I had from that. Pill after pill after pill. I don't even know what half of these are. This was for stomach issues, for nausea. This was sertraline. This was for depression. This was one of the many depression pills I took that I no longer need. 71 days. I don't have an inkling of depression or anxiety. I am fearless now. It's amazing to be fearless and what you can get done in life when you're not scared or fearless. I wouldn't even be doing all of these videos. I did a video with Sean, like I just mentioned. I've got a video coming up with Dr. Anthony Chafee. I would never do anything like that before. I would be terrified and anxious. I used to have phone calls with clients, and on my lunch break, I'd be like, I'm going to just drive my car into a tree because then I can get out of this phone call and this speaking engagement. I get up at our movie theater now. I go in front of the whole audience, 150 people sitting there, say thank you for coming in. I would never have done that in a million years. It's amazing living a life on carnivore where you have zero inflammation and you have zero anxiety and zero depression. You're fearless. You can get so much done when you're fearless. I've gotten so much done these last 71 days. So I don't want to have this all be negative, but I have a huge revelation I made this morning that just completely disturbs me. I've talked about my daughter, Lily. All of my things that have been fixed have been amazing, have been life-changing. The one thing that put me over the edge to do carnivore diet, because it was insane. It's insane to you if you've never done it. It was insane to me. I'm going to eat meat every day. This is nuts. The thing that put me over was when I saw Michaela Peterson's testimony about the carnivore diet. She's been doing it for over 5 years, and she had all sorts of issues like my daughter Lily, who's 18 years old, just graduated. She had arthritis and skin issues and a lot of things that Lily had. And so I'm like, I'm going to try this carnivore diet, test it out on myself. I'll be the guinea pig, and then we'll try it on Lily. Lily had the HS, horrible, painful skin condition. She was coming to me, Dad, help me. She was crying years and years. We took her to every dermatologist. They tried pills, they tried creams. Nothing would get of it. And not one of those stupid doctors said to her, maybe it's just your diet. And so she went on carnivore with me, and within about 8 days, almost half of her back was cleared up. And I've told this story before, but there's new people here. The last dermatologist said, we're going to give her this injection, and it's so powerful, it's going to shut down her immune system. There could be all sorts of other things that happen because of it, but we can try it. Thankfully, we didn't do that. And not one of those doctors said, maybe it's her diet. 8 days into the carnivore diet, this horrible pain. She was crying. She came to me once. She said, I'm just going to kill myself. This hurts so bad. Nobody's doing anything. The doctors aren't helping me. What am I going to do? I said to her after I was on carnivore for like a week, I'm not telling you to eat meat for 30 days. I'm telling you to eliminate that food. Something you're eating is causing that reaction. Just like someone that's allergic to peanuts eats a peanut and they get a horrible allergic reaction. They get a rash. Maybe their throat closes up. This is what it's got to be, Lily. And she did it, and sure enough, it fixed that, and it fixed so many other things with the kid too. Her mood, she's lost weight, acne that she had on her face. She's like a different person because of it. But here was my big realization at about 4:30 in the morning. I nearly almost jolted out of bed thinking about this. Lily had open heart surgery when she was 13, and the surgeon that did it saved her life. I got so much respect for him. Other doctors, on the other hand, I don't have so much respect for. So a couple of years after that, when she was 15, she would have horrible periods. I know this is awkward to talk about, but it's just the human body. It is what it is. I recently did another interview with a ketogenic woman, and she was talking about menopause and how she had no symptoms of menopause while she was on the carnivore diet. And I was reading an article by Dr. Kills talking about hormones and how the carnivore diet is amazing for hormones. It's probably why I feel amazing. My testosterone's through the roof. And when you have cholesterol, which has been demonized so much, it fixes those hormonal imbalances that people have. And then you sleep better and you're more energetic. And I've noticed it when I eat meat. I've been lacking that, and the American diet is lacking that. And so Lily, when she was 15, her period was horrible. She had terrible cramps, very, very painful. And this kid's been through so much with open heart surgery. So my mom, her mom, and myself are like, what can we do for her? And we went to several doctors, and they said, listen, I know this sounds unusual, but we can give her birth control. And this was when she was 14. We're not going to give a 14-year-old birth control. Are you crazy? Well, it wasn't for anything reproductive. It's a very common thing. This is what those doctors told us. A lot of teenagers have these crazy periods lately. And I'm thinking now in retrospect, gee, I wonder why. As the consumption of sugar and processed food and the standard American diet, that consumption's going up like this. What else is going up? Heart disease, strokes, diabetes, cancers, and these hormonal imbalances. So many teenagers getting their periods earlier, and so many of them getting them horribly. Lily was just cramping so bad and just terrible, terrible pain, bad periods. We went to the doctor and they said, this isn't uncommon these days. It happens to a lot of people her age, and it's not uncommon to give them birth control, even though she's 14 and she's not getting it for the regular birth control reason. That will help regulate her hormones, and it should make the periods easier and should reduce the cramps. I was absolutely against this. I did more research and it's like, this is a common thing. A lot of people are doing it. This is a doctor. This doctor's gone to school for years. I listened to doctors. At that point I did. Now I listen to the good Dr. Barry, Dr. Chafee. Everything else I'm completely skeptical on. Especially when a doctor tells you, well, I don't know why Lily has HS. It's just some unexplainable thing. That is BS when a doctor tells you, this is an unexplainable thing. Let's just throw a pill at it and see what happens. Run for the hills when you hear that, because every time it's come back to bite me. And so I was trusting the doctors. Jen, Lily's mom, was trusting the doctors, and we did it. We put her on this thing. And they told us, they said there is a small chance she could get blood clots. But it was such a minuscule chance, and the pros outweigh the cons, and there's so many kids doing this, and most of the kids don't get blood clots and should be just fine. Well, you know the whole story. This was her at 14, and right at the heart of COVID, right at the beginning, when you'd turn the TV on and you'd see semi-trucks loading the bodies to take the bodies out of the hospitals, and everyone was terrified. Lily was in the bathroom, and this was the most horrifying thing of my entire life and Jen's life. We heard a scream, and then I was in my office. Jen ran into the bathroom. I heard her, just a blood-curdling scream from Jen, and I ran in there. Lily was on the ground. This was after she was taking that medication. She was on the ground. Her face was just white like a ghost. And the thing that I will never forget the most was her lips. Her lips were purple. And I thought she was dead. And at that time, this was just the beginning of COVID, when there was all the hype and the mania over it and the death counts on the TV. And like I said, them pulling bodies out of the hospitals in New York and putting them in semis. I thought she died of COVID. I'm like, what is going on? She was on the ground. We called 911. Ambulance came. She was unresponsive. They checked her oxygen saturation. It was almost non-existent. This kid, my child, who survived open heart surgery, nearly died. She was probably minutes away from dying until the ambulance came. They took her to the hospital, and what happened? She had blood clots. Now, in retrospect, this is the revelation and the reason I'm so angry about all of this. Doctors, what are you supposed to do? The oath they take, do no harm. How is that doing no harm? I can guarantee you, I would bet every penny I have right now, if Lily saw Dr. Barry back then, I'm having these horrible periods, I'm having these irregularities, these horrible cramps, Dr. Barry would not have said to her, well, let's put you on some birth control, even though it might give you a blood clot. He wouldn't have said that. If it was his own daughter, I know he wouldn't have said that. I know what he would have said. What are you eating? Standard American diet, sugar, processed food, garbage, just like everyone else's, just like the government tells you? Are you following the food pyramid where you're just eating carbs and pasta and rice and bread all the time, like the food pyramid tells you to, like the American Heart Association tells you to? Dr. Barry wouldn't have said that. He would have said, let's try modifying your diet and get rid of some of those things and get some cholesterol back into your body that will help regulate your hormones. I'm going to show you this article by Dr. Kills about how eating the carnivore diet, eating the proper human diet, I should say, and eliminating that other stuff gives you more cholesterol, which helps you regulate your hormones, which can really help with regulating your period. And like I said, I interviewed the ketogenic woman, and she talked about this on the menopause side. She's like, all of her peers that went through menopause had these horrible symptoms and medications, and she didn't need any of that. Why? because she was well regulated because of the diet she was eating, the proper human diet. And so that was my big revelation is, number one, the doctors never tell you nutrition. They never talk about nutrition in my case. I guess I can only speak for myself and my daughter Lily. So she had the horrible HS for years, and we saw 4 different doctors, and we spent thousands of dollars, and not one of them could help her. She was crying to us. She's going to kill herself. She's in so much pain, and not one of them said anything about her diet. We changed her diet. Within 8 days, it's clearing up on her back, and it's completely gone now from her diet. This is the problem with the healthcare system and why it's broken, and everyone's like, why is it so expensive? Gee, I wonder. I'm going to use this analogy again. You take a big hammer, you put your finger right here, hit yourself in that finger as hard as you can. And now do that again and again and again. And do that every single day, every single week, every single month for years and decades. And then you go to the doctor and say, Doc, look, I've been every single day and my thumb, it's just completely broken and it's bloody and the bone's broken. What can you do? What should that doctor say? Stop hitting yourself with the hammer. What does the doctor say? What does the doctor say? Well, let me see. We can give you some Tylenol for that, maybe some ibuprofen, we can take down the inflammation. None of them say stop hitting yourself with the hammer. And so many problems are nutrition related. But you go to the doctor and pills, they don't talk about nutrition. Look at all of the problems. Heart disease, what is that from? The food you're eating. Strokes, what is it from? The food you're eating. Diabetes, depression, anxiety, sleep. You get poor sleep from your diet because your hormones are imbalanced. And then what happens when you get poor sleep? Your immune system's weakened. And then what happens? You get COVID and you die. Or you get some other ailment and you die. Or you're sick all of the time because your immune system's so weak because you're not getting the proper sleep. Well, why aren't you? Because you're not getting the proper nutrition. You're not getting the cholesterol, your hormones are out of balance, and everything is out of whack because you're not eating the proper human diet. It's that simple. It's just, and right now, it's just like I'm living in a Twilight Zone world where I'm walking around, I'm just seeing everybody, and they're obese, and they're inflamed, and they're sick, and they're tired, and they're anxious, and they're taking pills for anxiety, and they've got backaches, and they got brain fog, and they're going to the hospital and the doctor over and over again. And someone said that to me the other day. They're like, what about your cholesterol? I'm like, what about my cholesterol? They're worried about my cholesterol. I'm as healthy as I've ever been. I'm gonna go do my blood work, and I will share that blood work with everybody. But what about your cholesterol? I said, what about this? What about my anxiety and depression that I've had for years? What about my foot that was in horrible pain? What about my brain fog? What about my fatigue? What about my IBS, heartburn? What about all of these other ailments I've had that I've gone to doctors for years? 10 years I've gone to doctors for, and I still have all of those issues. Should I go ask those doctors about what I should be doing now? Because they're clueless. They're absolutely clueless. And so that's my rant. Why is the healthcare system broke? Why is healthcare so expensive? Because people are hitting themselves with a hammer over and over again, and the doctors are refusing to treat the cause of the issue, and they're trying to come up and manipulate some pills to mask it or put a temporary Band-Aid on it. It's absolute insanity. And so my goal and my mission in life, I have 3 of them now. My family is first, of course. Montello Theater, preserving the history, keeping that building open as long as it can. I love it. I love the theater. I love going to the movies. And I love being able to have a family-friendly experience. I'm not in it to make a single penny. And likewise, I want to spread the word to as many people as possible. I'm going to be creating this carnivore documentary. It's a lofty goal. I mentioned it on my previous video. I don't want to make a penny off of this. I'm not in this for the money. I'm in this because I want to change people's lives. I've had so many comments on my videos in just this short time. I started carnivore. You're right. This has gone away. This has gone away. This has gone away. I can sleep at night, and it's amazing. And I know there's people out there that are helpless and hopeless, and they've tried everything like I have. And I just wish someone told me about this. I wish someone told my friend Sean from Intentional Carnivore about this years ago when he was in his darkest days. And so I'm going to do everything I can to spread the word. I want to put together a carnivore documentary. I want to get it on one of the big streaming networks. It's a lofty goal. I want to have experts on there like the great Dr. Barry and Dr. Chafee if they're willing to participate. I want to have real people and not just obese people. I want to have real people, maybe an obese person, maybe someone with type 2 diabetes, maybe someone with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, maybe someone with some other ailment, and I want to track their whole progress. I'm starting carnivore now. here's what I weighed, here's my symptoms, here's all of my problems, and then we'll check in with them. And then throughout the documentary, by the end, you're going to see the before and you're going to see the after. Real world inspiration and examples. Doing something like this, though, is very important. And I'm not going to do it unless I can do an amazing job. And it's going to cost money to get people in here. I've done lots of video work over the years. I filmed 500 YouTube videos. I filmed probably 1,000 videos for customers, business videos, commercials. And so I have a lot of video experience, but I'm not a documentary filmmaker, and that's an art on its own. So I want to partner with someone that can help me, partner with a good editor. It's going to cost money to get on Netflix or one of these streaming services. It's going to cost money to travel and get all of this. So I might put together a Kickstarter. I just created the website. All right, so I'm going to continue this video indoors because my camera was overheating outside. So it's going to cost a lot of money to do a documentary like this, but I'm not doing this to make money. But it's going to be expensive and I want to do it properly. And so Emma and I created this t-shirt, Compassionate Carnivore. There's also some Homestead How t-shirts. And I'm the Captain Now t-shirt. That's pretty cool. It's a little sailboat with a T-bone as the sail, because you're the captain of your own ship once you take control, whether that's through the vegan diet or the keto diet or the carnivore diet, whatever you do. I have so much respect once you decide to take control. And so every single penny from those shirts being sold is going into a fund for this movie. So if you want to support the movie, consider buying a shirt. The goal of the movie is to help as many people as we can. Calling it a movie, it's a carnivore documentary is what I want to do. And besides that, we also have a membership program on Homestead How now. We had a few people sign up, and if you sign up, you get special perks as a member. You will get insider info. I did a picture of what Emma and I ate yesterday. I'm doing updates on the carnivore documentary movie. So if you want to become a member, you can do it. It's very inexpensive. You just hit the little join button below. Every single penny of that is going towards this movie. I'm not keeping a penny from it. I'm not trying to make money off of this. I just want to help as many people as possible. And I believe that if we can get a good, honest documentary on the carnivore diet out there, I'll be able to reach a lot more people than I can just here on YouTube. So that's the goal. The website will be up soon. I'm going to continue to do these Tuesday updates. And Thursday we have that carnivore interview I did with Sean from Intentional Carnivore. You guys are going to want to watch that. And if you're new to carnivore and you think this is insane, I'm with you. I was there too. Watch this video I'm going to post in the upper corner of the screen here. This was my 30-day update. I'm on day 71 now, but in that update, I've got testimonials from a heart surgeon, Dr. Barry, Dr. Jordan Peterson, Michaela Peterson, their testimonials, a quick overview on the carnivore diet, what it did for me after 30 days. The video is on its way to 500,000 views, so go check that one out if you want to learn more about the carnivore diet. And please, please, please comment, thumbs up, subscribe, and share this. It really helps, especially if you know someone out there that's kind of hopeless and helpless. I'm not trying to change anyone's mind. I'm not telling anyone you should do this. I'm just trying to put the example out there. This is what worked for me, and I know if I was out there struggling, I'd be looking for a similar example. Thanks a lot for watching.